Look at me in my little boat. Yes. Oh, bonjour, hola, hello in Swahili. It's me, elusive billionaire Chad White. You've caught me at a bad time. I'm about to set sail on my yacht. It's not a boat, it's a yacht. You know what makes it a yacht? Because it costs more money. I'm traveling right now, and I know it's a pandemic, and I know there's some type of coronavirus going around because of Karamo Brown downtown. I know all that's happening, but I just couldn't stay in my one house anymore. So now I'm traveling the world. Good thing, too. I can get Netflix almost anywhere. Ooh, I can't wait to watch, Sweet Home and Dairy Girls and Lupin and all those other shows from places that aren't America. Oh my God, I can do the same for the other streaming services too, but it's a lot more slow rollout depending on when. Anyway, I think you should just go ahead and watch News Time because there's nothing to see here. I'm on a yacht.
It's News Time. Delivering to you the news you didn't know about, the news you didn't care about, and the news you didn't know you cared about. With host, Chad White. Now, here's that host, Chad White. Welcome back to News Time. I'm your host, Chad White, and this is the international streaming news you didn't know about. The coronavirus pandemic opened up the world of streaming, showing its vulnerabilities during a time in which it was sorely needed. Hulu, a pioneer in streaming, used to be free, but it was US only. Netflix started its streaming arm around the same time too, and it was also US only as well before expanding internationally to Canada in 2010. Year after year, they added on more countries. But when Disney Plus launched in late 2019, it only took about 2 years to get that one to the masses. The math is simple. The more you open up your services to the world, the more users you get. That's why News Time doesn't have many viewers. I won't dare let it air in Paris where those cheese-eating pansies live. You hear that, France? Our rivalry is back on, and no, I will not apologize for what happened. Streaming around the globe is still a toss-up, though, but it's getting better. Now, if a service launches without a worldwide plan, it would be dead in the water. Even Quibi, failing from conception, made its way to the UK, Ireland, and even Australia with a limited/no ad experience. Quibi was number 3 in the App Store the day it launched with 300,000 downloads, which is like releasing a book and instead of it landing on the New York Times bestseller list, you make the New York Daily News Big Books for Smarties list. That's like instead of using Google to search for something, you use ask.com. What happened to Jeeves? Is he dead? Is he too busy serving Bruce Wayne? What I'm getting at is having international reach is important. What's more important, though, is distribution and acquisition of shows and movies from all parts of the globe. Netflix is probably the easiest way to see how the plan should work. Start locally, expand quickly, and pick up shows from the countries you release in while also making originals available everywhere. Shows like Sweet Home and Lupin are killing it on the charts, not just because they're good, but also because there are viewers outside of their home countries watching. It's no secret Netflix is spending money like it's the cast of Bling Empire, featuring my future bride, you'll never guess who. The question is, can it keep doing that even after it's been reported that, like other tech unicorns, it's losing money every single year? Analysts seem to think so. The difference between Netflix and every other streamer is the net income it's pulling in, and also subscriber count and the amount of stuff to watch, but quantity doesn't equal quality. Just look at Bling Empire. Don't worry, there's a House of Ho jab in the HBO section, I promise. Net income refers to the profits the company is making after expenses, interest, and taxes. In the case of Netflix, it's doing that well enough to offset the cash it's burning through what we know to be in the billions. Much of the income is now reliant on subscriber growth, which itself is currently driven by the Eastern Hemisphere. We already knew Netflix is doing well across the world because it's Netflix. Just like how we already know the sky is blue or that soup tastes better eaten on the couch with no clothes on because you like the threat of danger. Those are just facts. The path Netflix took to getting its standing internationally was nearly a decade in the making. Disney Plus and HBO Max saw the stretch of road ahead, so their trips shouldn't take as long. In the case of Disney Plus, it's basically there. When the company first bought 21st Century Fox in 2018 and then laid off hundreds of people in 2019 and 32,000 in 2020, never forget, it also acquired Star, an Indian-based media company, which itself owns Hotstar, a streaming platform. Hotstar is huge in countries that don't begin with United or end in states. In 2019, it set a record for most viewed streaming platform, a record it set the year prior, and that was for a cricket match. It's all off-break, medium-pace bowling averages and centuries. All terms I definitely did not have to look up. I'm a huge cricket head. Chirp, chirp, suckers. Instead of destroying the already popular Hotstar, Disney folded it into Disney Plus when it launched. Enter Disney Plus Hotstar, a section of the Disney Plus app for India. And because of the way international streaming rights work, shows from HBO, Fox, and Showtime live alongside Disney Plus shows and movies in the very same app. The launch was initially delayed due to the pandemic, but when it did come out a month later, 8 million India-based users signed up in less than a week. Plus, Indonesian users signed up in masses too, leaving the company with 2.5 million subs, overtaking Netflix. Disney Plus is coming up on Netflix's heels like Lightning McQueen did to Chick Hicks in the better of the three Cars movies. Also note that Star, the media company named Star, not Hotstar, the streamer that is owned by Star, the same media company now owned by Disney, will become the free tier of Disney Plus for Europe, Canada, and New Zealand. It will be named Disney Star India, and Disney Star Studios will produce, so it's not confusing at all. As I mentioned before, Warner Media, the very same company that won't hire me for reasons I can only assume to be how cool and fun and handsome I am, is also, this is how cool, fun, handsome people act, is also aiming to touch down in all countries. However, HBO Max is erring on the side of acquisitions. In fact, the cable side has been doing that for decades now. It'll just happen at a faster clip. It recently purchased distribution rights for Yuri and Ella from Israeli cabler Hot. And if you're Googling the words hot and streaming, I urge you to turn on incognito because the ads are wildly inappropriate, depending. Warner Media and Hot's relationship extends well past this show's purchase. Popular teen sex drug drama Euphoria is based on the Israeli show of the same name. Additionally, HBO Max added shows from Italy, Spain, and the UK faster than Netflix was able to do years ago. There are also plans for locally based DC Comics shows, meaning characters like El Diablo and Vixen could be produced in the countries they take place in and in the same language. Here's hoping they don't opt for a modern Super Friends. That just won't work today.
One sprinkle of this ancient Indian powder, and you will be able to handle the grizzly without weapons. You have only to cry out the word, Inekchok, and you will be the most powerful brave of all. Inekchok!
And yes, I know the Justice League and Young Justice cartoons feature a modern take on Apache Chief. I just needed to bend reality for that joke to work. Also, this is a comedy show, I think. Warner Media is taking another page out of Netflix's streaming playbook. Theatrical releases are hitting HBO Max the same day as cinemas. However, the same thing isn't happening internationally, at least for now. When the rollout is finished, HBO Max will be in 190 countries by the end of 2021. They're really spreading the wealth, unlike those spoiled, rotten hoes on House of Ho. There's your joke. You happy jerks? I know I'm not. The services we talked about are the biggest streamers. What about the others? When the rebranded CBS All Access begins new life as Paramount Plus, it'll be global by the end of the year. But the definition is vague right now, as the service is said to hit throughout the world sporadically. Discovery Plus is faring better due to a deal it struck with Vodafone for European users. of viewers. Additionally, a similar deal it has with Verizon was set outside the U.S. with Sky for places like UK and Ireland. And finally, Peacock. I'm not saying the name for joke effect. I'm not allowed to anymore. NBC Universal touted 26 million signups for 2020. Plus, the company is set to shutter WWE Network, a niche streamer with 1.6 million subscribers, and it's also dumping the NBC Sports Network in favor of airing games between Peacock and USA. NBCU is positioning itself as the place to find sports that aren't normally aired on ESPN. That's a pretty space to be in for now. ESPN Plus is a slow app with a confusing layout. Why can't Peacock be the same? Also, Premier League games and whatever will become of the 2021 Olympics will air on it, so they already have the world's attention. But so far, the Premier Access has earned a yellow card. And yes, I had to Google soccer terminology. And yes, I went the easiest route. Matches for the league are stuck behind the $5 paywall of Peacock. With no fans in the stands due to the pandemic, that forced more broadcast windows. More windows might sound like a win-win for everyone to watch everything. It's not. Matches don't overlap. They air during non-soccer events like the US Open and Tour de France. And NBCU limited replays of previously aired games by half, meaning if you missed a game, you might have missed that game for good. Streaming internationally seems like a no-brainer. The companies that are succeeding at it aren't doing anything exceptionally out of the ordinary. They're just following the money. But the ones that are struggling with the concept, whether it's due to copyrights or limited reach, can only get so many subscribers. New Disney bigwig Bob Chapek said in mid-2020, Hulu has no brand awareness outside the US. And he's right, but that's because for years it was functioning as a place for broadcasters to freely air their shows. The concept was new, and the ad space part of it built up should prove to be lucrative for the next few years. If they give up early on it because of the lack of interest outside of the contiguous United States, they're giving up on what could be a Netflix alternative. It's cheaper, has its own prestigious shows and movies, and congregates media from a majority of major networks. And I said the word contiguous. There's no lesson to learn here to be taught. Streaming is still in its infancy, yet it's already being treated like broadcast and cable television. Money is what they're after. It's staring them right in the face. Platforms are finally understanding there are billions of people who could be subscribers. Now, if only they understand that I don't want to pay for them all, but I will if it means I can continue escaping my own thoughts for half an hour to 50 minutes at a time. Boy, am I sad. You know what will make me a little less sad is you subscribing and checking out one of our videos. Of course, you can head to the website cpluscomedy.com, where you can see so many interviews with your favorite comedians that you'll go, ooh, no wonder he's sad. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Listen to the Constitutionals podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And I'm going to hop a plane to India. Do I wear a face mask over there, or is it fine?